99% of you have come to Christian churches for many years, and you have heard this message: Jesus died on the cross so we can be saved. Jesus died on the cross so we can be forgiven. You've heard this, you've heard it, but I want you to understand it today. I want you to understand it. The name Satan literally means accuser. That's what the Hebrew means. Satan means he accuses. He is the accuser. In Revelation 12, right after it says that the dragon, the serpent of old, has been cast out of heaven, it says this. It says this in Revelation 12. I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. That's Revelation 12:10. That's the power of Satan. He accuses the brethren day and night. The dragon is the accuser. The power of the dragon is accusation. His power is accusation. The dragon says, you lied. You lied to your teacher. You lied to your mom. You lied to your wife. You lied to your husband. You lied to your dad. You lied to your son. You lied to your daughter. You lied to your employer. You lied to your employee. You lied. The accuser says you cheated. The accuser says you stole. The accuser says you lusted. The accuser says you were bitter. You thought evil thoughts in your heart. The accuser says you fornicated. The accuser says you committed adultery. The accuser says you betrayed. The accuser says you cursed, you reviled. And perhaps above all, the accuser says this: you can never change. That's what the accuser says. The accuser says you will never be anything more than a liar, a thief, a cheat, lazy. The accuser accuses you of sin, accuses you of your sin, reminds you of your sin, reminds you of your failures, reminds you of it again and again and again, and says you cannot change. You will never change. You cannot be different. This is just the way things are. So then, when was the accuser cast down? Revelation says that the accuser will be cast down. You say, but yeah, Revelation sometimes talking about future things and past things. What has the accuser been cast down? Yes, he has. Jesus said this in John chapter 12. Now is the judgment of this world. This is Jesus. Now is the judgment of this world. Now shall the prince of this world be cast out. There's that language of being cast out. The prince of this world. That's the devil. Now the prince of this world shall be cast out. And I, if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all men to me. Jesus says, now is the judgment of this world. Now is the prince of this world being cast out. And I, if I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all men to myself. And he said this, signifying what death he should die. That's John 12, 31 and 30 to 33. Jesus said that when he died, he would cast the prince of this world out. When he died, Jesus said, he would cast the prince of this world out. So how did the death of Jesus cast the dragon out so that he cannot accuse us anymore? How did the death of Jesus cast the dragon out so that he is stripped of his power, so that he's stripped of his weapons, so that he's spoiled and has no power over us anymore? Well, to answer that, we have to ask, what kind of death did Jesus die? Because Jesus says that makes all the difference. In John 3, Jesus said this, as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have eternal life. Listen to that again. Remember, and what did Moses lift up? A bronze dragon. They had been bitten with those fiery serpents. They had been bitten by those seraph serpents, and they were dying. They'd been poisoned. They were dying. And God said, put one of them on a pole and put it on a pole pierced. Put it on a pole dead. And put it up for everyone to see. And everyone who looks at the dead dragon will be saved from the dragon poison. Everybody who sees the dragon dead, the dragon will be dead in them. And Jesus said, just as Moses lifted up that serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up. Jesus says, I will be lifted up like that, so that whoever believes in him will not perish but have eternal life. Jesus cast the accuser out by his death because he died the death of a poisonous serpent dragon, because that is what our sin is. When Jesus was pierced on the cross, when he was nailed to the cross, he was nailed to the cross like a serpent. He was nailed to the cross like a dragon. He was nailed to the cross like a monster, because that is what our sin is. The dragon only has the power of fear and accusation. The demon power is all about fear and accusation. He accuses and then says, you'll never change. Accusation, fear. Accusation, fear. Those are the chains of the devil. Those are the chains of the dragon. Those are the chains of the strong man. But when Jesus died in our place and for our sin, he paid the wages of all our sin. But not only that, he killed our sin. He crushed our sin completely. It says in 2 Corinthians 5:21, for God made him, Christ, to be sin for us, who knew no sin, that we might be made the righteousness of God in him. He who knew no sin became sin for us, so that we might be made the righteousness of God in him.